Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Oversteer and Underdogs. I'm Dean. This is my good friend Rob here.
What
And
up?
we're here after a very eventful, yet somewhat uneventful weekend in Austin.
Yeah.
All I know is 3 minutes into the broadcast, I screamed, my wife yelled at me, then Rob called me. Give me
Yep.
a rundown, Rob.
So yeah, within, like you said, about 3 minutes having it on, I was set up nice, hanging out, watching. First turn, I screamed, and I think the neighbors thought someone was getting killed. Because we see the two McLarens just smash each other, and it was glorious. I mean, we've been talking about it since before the summer break that this was going to happen. And I know it wasn't like McLaren on McLaren crime, but it was still them colliding, which was awesome to see it happen.
Yeah.
And I don't care what anybody says, it's about time. What are your thoughts?
I think it was great. It's another one of those things. It was like Lando went for a great, I'm going to run him a little wide and take the spot. He's racing him hard, just like they should. And then Oscar goes and tries to race him hard right back, but forgets that Nico Hulkenberg hasn't been in the top 5 in about 6 months. He's racing his heart out trying to pass Fernando, and it's just four things into one place don't work out.
Four wide into turn one is not gonna end well for anybody.
But at the same time, let's put that little shout out there for COTA here, having such a wide turn one where you can do this.
You can.
This is a track that has brought us great racing in the past, and here it does it again. In 19 lap sprint, I don't think my heart rate went below 150 the whole time. It was awesome.
No,
it was so much fun.
I honestly feel, and you can argue with me if I'm wrong, I feel like that 19 lap race was the most exciting
Awesome.
and action packed form of Formula One we've seen all year. Like, it was, and there were passes, there was battles, there were more wrecks towards the end. Like, it was just in absolute chaos, and it was just wild to see it. And honestly, like, I know that you and I obviously talked, and obviously the first right off rip, you're like, oh my God, like, that was Oscar's fault. That was completely Oscar's fault. And out of all of it, like, you really can't put blame on anybody. Cause like you said, like, you had Fernando and Nico battling each other on the inside. They're not paying attention to what's going on up top. You had Oscar, honestly, if he would have landed that, that would have been the sickest
pass of the year
cutback.
Yeah.
Of all. That would have been perfect.
Awesome.
But you got to remember that there's 18 other drivers around you, and 17 because Max was already gone.
Well, yeah, fair enough. He was already spraying champagne somewhere.
Yeah, he was already done with it. And so, like, you got to take that in consideration. Honestly, the one thing, and I already told you this too, that really upset me was Zach Brown's stupid ass comment. Saying it was amateur hour, that it was Hulkenberg's fault. And I was like, honestly, man, like, even though there wasn't any blame to put, if anyone was gonna get blamed, it's Oscar.
Yeah, he's the one guy that's out of place in this whole thing.
Yeah.
But it was, I'd love to see a still shot of the moments before disaster there. It was like watching just before, it looked like, he might have had another foot or two on his right side to get a little bit closer to Lando versus cutting in so far. But
yeah,
that hindsight's 2020. It was a great idea for a move.
Yeah.
Really ballsy move to pull lap 1, turn 1. But, all's fair. Love and war. We're fighting for a championship here. This is war.
Points
this
are
is
points.
what you have to do.
Yeah. And especially when, like, now, like, after that happens, like, yeah, they're out for the race. But I mean, you even said it. Is that the pretty much the point of where Oscar's weekend just went downhill? And I agree. I think something was wrong with the car. You, like,
100%.
you had said, like, something with suspension. Like, you saw the the floppy front.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I mean, the immediate damage was blatantly obvious, but then to go for 2 cars that have been qualifying on the, your top 3 qualifiers weekly, you can basically guarantee they're there. To then have one of your guys qualifying 7th
or 8th, I think.
That's insane. Like, something's wrong. Something happened. I don't know, obviously they only had a day to really repair they didn't have a day to repair the car.
No, they
They
had
had an
like 4
afternoon.
hours.
Yeah. So, how much can you repair in those 4 hours? How deep is this damage? Obviously, the team did an amazing job to even just get the car back out there. Both of them out there, I should say. But you wonder what kind of underlying damage Oscar's car could have had. I mean, that
Yeah,
thing was a good 4 or 5 feet up in the air,
and came
when it
down
slammed down.
hard.
The floor was more than likely damaged, but I'm sure they have an extra floor. But, they already had that chassis issue with Lando's car there that caused the oil failure at Zandervoort. It makes you wonder, could it be something similar when it slammed down like that? Is there some kind, maybe it's not a full failure, but it's on its way out, affects the handling, affects the engine, who knows what's going on.
Yeah,
But either way, it was a moment that needed to happen. And now McLaren kind of they have a choice. They have a big choice to make, I think. They like to promote that, we're a happy family, we're a happy community, come play with us. We're all buddies here. We all race. What are they going to do? How badly
yeah,
do they want to have their name attached to the drivers' championship?
yeah. And honestly, like I believe I said it yesterday. Like it's like you had asked me, who are they going to back now? And it's a really tough decision because now you got Max 40 points back. And yeah, they already got the constructors locked up, but it would be huge to
Nobody
not
cares about the
only
constructors.
yeah, no one cares. They
Who
care,
won the constructors'
obviously.
championship in 2021?
No idea.
Mercedes. Do you think Lewis Hamilton gave a shit that they won
No.
the constructors?
No.
Nobody cares.
And that's the thing, like, everyone remembers the driver. No one cares about the constructors' championships unless you're, like, a super, like,
Yeah.
hardo fan with it.
Yeah, the
Um,
constructors matters if you are an employee of that company and your bonus rides on it.
yeah,
That's
that's
about
about
it.
it. And we're here watching to see who the greatest is. We wanna see the greatness. And, I mean, I feel like if they had to choose, obviously, Oscar has been showing it the most throughout the whole year. Um, but Lando has done his thing since the break.
Yeah,
And it's hard to like pick which one. Um, Now I mean Lando's what 14 points back and he's
yeah.
more than back in it, but again, you have Max coming up. Are you going to make sure that are you going to still spread the love around? Well, barely spread the love
Yeah.
around because you don't want Max to win and you're just going to take whoever is doing better during that specific time during the race.
Well, so
That's going to
this is
cause
the
issues
thing.
too.
This is the thing. Let me read you some interesting numbers here. At the summer break, we just got done over in Hungary. We're all going out on our yachts, hanging out with Toto Wolff in Sardinia. Oscar was sitting on 284 points. Lando was only down 9 points at that point.
Yep.
And then Max was 89 points away. A distant thought. There were memes about, yeah, look, if all this happens, he can win. We all thought it was silly.
Yeah,
I'm sure
Charlie
McLaren thought it was
from
silly.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia going like with the board behind him with all the strings. Like it could
We
happen.
all, it's like, it's not over till it's over. It's true. At this point, it's true. Now, if you look at since the summer break, Oscar scored 62 points. Lando scored 57, and that's with his DNF. Each of them had a DNF. If you take those DNFs out, Oscar has been marginally better, and it's mostly because he won Zandervoort.
Yeah.
You then have Max, who's gone and just said, I can do it by myself, and scored more points, just as many points, 119, as McLaren as a team.
In
This
the
guy,
same amount of time.
he basically has his position in the constructors as well sewed up as just him. He's a one-man team. He's out here carrying it. But you look at that and you're like, what's McLaren doing wrong? They're trying to make this so fair. They're kind of holding their drivers back.
Yeah.
And
The fire rules, man. Like we've talked about how this is going to ruin one, if not both of these drivers' seasons.
Yeah. And now you're coming to the point. It's like, if say you come down to Abu Dhabi, right? And we go into a 2021 situation. Everybody is tied, which at this point doesn't look unrealistic.
Tied or within 10 points of each other.
Yeah. you have Oscar in first place, Lando in second, Max in third, and we're all tight bunched. Does Lando block? You know, he knows he can't pass Oscar maybe. Does he block? Does he help Oscar win a championship? Or does he just throw it away, try to pass him, get beaten by Max like we know he probably would, and watch Max eat Oscar up too? This is the point where you would start playing a team game of, okay, look, you have Max behind, defend, hold him up, help your partner. You can't do that now.
No,
You've set a precedent for both drivers that if you do that to either one of them, you ruin that community you've built that you supposedly present to everybody here.
it's already done been ruined, in my opinion. That was ruined before the break.
I'm
Like,
sure the tension's there. These are all guys fighting. Uh, but I don't know. Oscar has that killer mentality. Lando's been trying to be in it, and he's kind of there, but he's just not that way. Oscar also has his manager behind him, Mark Webber, who's the same way. He's a cutthroat kind of guy who had to play second fiddle over at Red Bull for so long. He's not going to take that for his driver.
no. And I mean, my thing is, like, don't get me wrong, Charles is an amazing driver, but you
Yeah,
couldn't even get past a tractor. You
yeah,
couldn't even get past the worst top team
yeah.
until what, 10 laps left? You were fighting him that long and he beat you on softs in the beginning. He went the
Yep.
same amount of time as you
Charles was
in
a
the
magician in
beginning.
that thing.
And so, like, it just,
Charles was
I
Charles
just
was on
don't
another
see
level
that.
that day.
Yeah, no,
Charles was on
he
another
definitely
level that
was.
day. But even, listening to the broadcast, you can, it's nice having ex drivers up in the booth, right? They can give you this analysis, especially ones that have driven on that track. And Lando's trying to, he's trying all these, I'm going to try to do a cutback on him. Well, that doesn't work because it's a left turn into a right turn into another left turn into another right turn. You never end up where you need to. You always
Mhm.
end up on the outside. And it's, I believe he did the same thing last year against Max, if I remember. They were talking about on the broadcast as well of just he's making the predictable moves.
Yes. And
This is
and
where,
Charles is not a driver who is going to let you he's telegraphing that.
yeah,
He was telegraphing the whole
realistically,
time.
yeah, racecraft for racecraft, you're talking about, top three drivers, Max, right now, probably George Russell and Charles. They're the three best guys at the wheel right now. Uh, Charles has the unfortunate of being at Ferrari at the moment, but hey, it worked out for him this weekend. But it's like
Yeah.
you gotta throw something a little bit more aggressive. You gotta throw something pretty serious. McLaren has clearly stopped development of the 25 car, I'd say, and everybody's caught up, and it's exposing these drivers as being mid pack.
Yeah.
Is the way I see it. But they're not. If you put all these guys in a spec car, these two, Lando and Oscar, they fade.
Yeah.
they, they just don't have it. I don't think they have it. McLaren engineered an incredible machine that worked really well for the last half of last year and the first half of this year. And now that development stopped, everybody's kind of figured it out. They supposedly still have a brake advantage, but Lando couldn't make use of it. It drove me crazy watching him try to pass the guy. And I'm a fan of all of them for the most part, but it drove me. Lando's not my favorite by in any means, but watching him attempt to throw passes was crazy to me.
Yeah.
The smartest thing he did was when he finally made that pass, when he finally threw a pass on Charles and Charles cut him back on turn one and it just screwed up his rhythm. That's all he needed.
Yeah.
Once you do that, you're in his head, and that's kind of the big part. Now he's thinking about it. Now you're a lot closer to him. It gives you that opportunity to throw him off that rhythm. But I don't know this.
I don't even think though, like, if he would have passed sooner, he wouldn't even it wouldn't have mattered. Like,
No,
the way that
no,
he
he
was
wasn't catching
getting
Max.
the way that even if he did catch Max is not letting him pass.
Oh no,
Because
Max
Max
will.
is more
Yeah,
defensive than
yeah,
Charles is.
yeah. It would have ended in a ball of flames before he let you pass.
Yeah.
Max now
So,
knows he can win, which
yeah,
is
and especially
terrifying.
if you're a McLaren and if you get close, it's not happening. He's not going to allow you to just go
No,
by. And
yeah,
that's why I mean, even especially next week is going to be so crucial. If McLaren wants to try and do anything, they cannot let Max get pole.
Oh
And
yeah.
at the end of the day, they cannot let Max win because he is
Nope.
now going to be just chugging
Yeah.
along, which he is
Yeah.
right now.
And what we have left are tracks that work for the Red Bull car fundamentally, but it seems they found something in that Red Bull car to work at tracks where it
Anything.
didn't work before. The only race he hasn't won since summer break was it's the track that he has never won at.
Yeah.
It's just a Max problem. He doesn't like that track. The track doesn't like him. He's won everything else. We were sitting here on this very podcast talking about it. Like, yeah, if he wins out
And like
as a pipe dream,
I sent you that graphic yesterday, and it's like he doesn't even need to win out to still
no,
win. He can. There were scenarios where he was literally placing second or third, and the other two were first and second. And it's like if he does win out, that's a cakewalk. He doesn't
yeah,
have to
look,
do anything except put his head down. And the great thing is, he doesn't have the pressure. He doesn't
yeah,
have the same pressure that these two do. He's got 4. Yeah, cool.
yep,
It'd be great to get 5
yep,
and come back and make the biggest comeback in
yeah,
F1 history. But
yeah.
it's not going to, like, it's not a big deal. It is obviously a big deal, but it's not as big of a deal as it is for both of these two to get there first.
No, and that's the thing. Max coming in, there's several times they've asked him, how many are you looking to win? Do you want to break the record? He's like, yeah, it'd be nice, but honestly, 1 is all I want, and then anything after that is gravy. I'll take it, but
Yeah.
I don't need it. But once it's within reach, he's just programmed to do it. The man just has it. But this is going to be a very, very interesting Mexican Grand Prix. We're going to have the other thing is you have also other drivers who are now getting in the mix too. You have your George Russells, you have your Charles Leclercs, who are now in the way of anybody who's fighting at the top. Now that we've all caught up, just more things to think about.
My thing too is though, George Russell was very quiet this weekend.
He was, except for the time he threw that pretty deep pass or a pass attempt at Max in the sprint, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
I think these two, I think they might have actually made up a little bit.
I know, it's weird. Like you texted me, you're like, what's going on? Because they're actually like chatting it up. I mean, a year ago they'd be standing up on the podiums and they would not like waiting to get spoken to, not even a word to each other.
In Spain, Max kamikaze the side of his car. Like, I don't know what they've talked about, what's going on, but it seems like they're a bit like, hey, get a load of these guys.
Yeah.
Kind of buddying up here. Even they threw that move and they asked Max about it in the interview and he says, yeah, he tried to throw a move, but after that I was gone.
Yeah.
Just breeze right by it. No criticism. And then George talks about it.
7 months ago, Max would have been motherfucking him.
Lost it. Yeah. And then you got George. They ask him about it. He goes, I tried to throw a move, but I was a little far back. Admitting that it might have been wrong, but
yeah,
at the end of the day, he's like, it's all good, fine.
Yeah.
So I mean, good on him.
And that was the thing too. Even the announcers were like, it's not honestly a bad move. Like that was one of, if not the only opportunities he had to take that position. And so he took his shot. And
absolutely.
It didn't work.
Good on George. But respect to George, being one of the only guys willing to throw something like that at Max, honestly.
Yeah. And again, like mad props to Charles. Great showing from Lewis. Like Lewis gave it all he could, but that was the other crazy thing too. Like Lewis was at one point, he was with him and then he just starts slowly dropping back. He gets to 10 seconds. Guess who doesn't make up any time? Oscar. And it was weird. I was expecting, like, I'm looking at the numbers and like the times, and I'm like, wow, Lewis is dropping so hard. Like, he's going to lose 4th. And then I look down and I'm like, Oscar hasn't moved from 5 seconds back for 20 laps.
Yeah, he just didn't have it.
And I honestly think, like, dude, his comms, that is the most defeated I've heard Oscar. And it was only halfway through the race. Race was nowhere near over.
Yeah, I think part of it is the fear of what's going to happen now, right? Zach Brown came out and said there will be repercussions for Lando Norris's move in Singapore, which honestly doesn't deserve repercussions. But what were those repercussions going to be? What are they? Who knows?
Ain't seen shit.
Does he get to go out? Does he get to go out first? Does Oscar get priority on pits for the rest of the season? Does he get to pick? What is it? does he get the first scoop of supper at Zach Brown's dinner table when Lando's there? And we don't know. We don't know what it is.
He gets an extra scoop of ice cream for dessert.
Whatever it was, I think he lost it by wrecking both the cars, but
Yeah.
It should be even now, fully.
Yeah.
But no, Ferrari had a great showing. I was super happy to see that, as a historical F1 fan and loving seeing these legendary teams kind of show out. Super happy for Charles. Guy was on another planet. He looked great.
I
To
love
make those
Lewis's
soft
comms
tires
too.
last,
Oh,
to make those soft tires last was incredible. And it was a very chancy type of strategy they chose here. They're one of the only ones to go soft.
yeah.
That was all Charles working his magic, making those tires last, and it paid off. Lewis went with the safe strategy, and it didn't really work out for him as well as Charles did. It was good for him.
Yeah. And I love Lewis's comms too. Like they were back and forth. It sounded like an actual team at the end. They said, "Great job, Lewis." And he said, "Great job to everybody here. We gave it all we could."
Yeah,
Great pit stops today. Really good. Let's keep pushing. Like it was a good positive sound to come from that side of the garage. Finally, because
yeah,
all season that's something that you and I have been talking about, complaining about how Lewis just seems like he's out there on his own inside the
yeah.
cockpit. He's
It only
doesn't
took
have
19
anybody.
races.
I know, I know, but I mean, better now than never, I guess.
No, yeah, it's
And
good to
I
see.
think, yeah, and it's good to see that coming towards the end of this season, moving into next season, where we're again, everyone is back to square one. You're going to be on similar, like the platforms are going to be the same. The testing is going to be the same. Learning the cars is going to be the same. The drivers are all going to be on a level playing field for the most part, obviously money. I mean, I saw something yesterday and it was a clip of a Red Bull and it said Red Bull with a Ford motor next year. And it was like
Sound like
ding
a big old
ding
power
ding
stroke.
ding 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 with
Yeah,
the check engine light on and
yeah.
everything, and it was it was so funny. But
Somebody
seeing,
play the Ford door chime right now.
yeah, literally. So seeing that Lewis is finally, like, I hope that keeps rolling forward for the rest of the season, because that's all he's need. Like, I feel like Lewis is one of those guys, is like, he doesn't need to be like patted on the back every single time, but throw the dude a bone every once in a while. He's in a whole new area. He's in a whole new playing field, new team, new car. You got to give him a little bit of support here and there. And they were doing it all
Yeah,
weekend. Like, hey, you had a fast lap, great lap, that one. Here's where you can make it better. I didn't hear, because I check in on his radio throughout. I didn't hear any single, "Can you stop? Can you stop
yeah.
talking to me?" Like, it was never negative feedback. There wasn't a bad banter back and forth. It was good. It was cool to see,
Uh,
finally.
it seemed like they had a good flow. It's nice to see. I hope they can continue to carry it through the rest of the year here, and please get Lewis one podium by the end of the year.
Ugh.
This is Christ,
He
but
just set a new record. He's the
it's the wrong kind of record. It's unfortunate. I
Yeah,
really, I feel for him. But hey, he's build. They brought him in to build this team, so the struggles got to be expected.
yeah.
Speaking of struggles and working your way back up, Williams. Holy crap!
It was
How
good
do
and
you
it was
go?
bad.
Yeah, but still, look,
It was
it's
good and it was
looking.
horrible, actually.
Yes, but it's looking. I would say it's an upward trajectory overall.
One
Having
thing
Mister.
One thing that I feel like, so when they were interviewing Carlos and they're like, "Oh wow, like it was really cool to see you." He's like, "Honestly, like this is the same performance I've been putting on all year. I just haven't had a bad situation." And then Sunday
Yeah,
happens. And he
shouldn't have said it.
gets,
Shouldn't have said it.
yeah, he just jinxed himself. I honestly think that move was a little extra. I think that was a very
Yeah,
forced move down the inside.
yeah. It
Didn't
was.
see that working out.
It wasn't. I don't think it was a. I don't think it was a bad move. I don't think it was a good move. I think it was just a very ambitious one. He's been pulling that move the laps before. I remember they were talking about it, how he was making. He was one of the only guys passing in that corner, and he made it stick two or three times, I think it was. And then it's a game of inches, right? Game of inches
Yeah.
here, where you hit the brakes. All right, this guy doesn't react the same way. It's a little different. You run into the back of Kimmy, and they are.
And he locked
I don't
up
think the
hard. That front
oh yeah,
left just
and,
locked, and you can't do
and you
anything.
could
You can't turn out of that.
no, and it's not on Kimmy either. He's just turned into his corner. Each of
Kimmy
these
was
guys have a
pissed.
slight. Oh yeah, I mean rightfully so. He should be. He
Yeah.
didn't see it coming. I'd be pissed too. But I don't think the move was bad. I think the move was pretty fine. It was just different racer, slightly different line, didn't go where he expected, and
Yeah.
we ended up in a collision. So that's why they call them accidents, I guess. But hey, overall though, having Sainz show up in that sprint race and really have good pace. God, I was really hoping for that. I was hoping they got to clean up Lance Stroll's freaking kamikaze to Aston Martin. I was really hoping they
No,
got those cleaned up and we
seriously.
had a one-lap shootout. That would have been
Oh,
insane. That would have cemented it as actually the best race of the season, I think.
we got
But
robbed. We got robbed
it was
because
so
of
close. The
the
whole it was so close. So
yeah.
I was hoping, but
When they
I
when they were pulling around, I'm like, dude, they're right there. Like, can you guys
I
just
know.
drop a gear real quick and take off? Like, who cares if it clangs around? Come on, get it off. It's Lance Stroll.
It would
Like,
have been it would have been awesome if they got that thing going around. I would have
yeah,
that one lap would have been fantastic. But overall, for Signs, I thought he looked great. He had the one incident, which just so happens to destroy his Sunday. But
yeah,
quality looked good, practice looked good, carrying it over from last week. Things are looking a bit up for them. I'm happy to see that too. Nice to see another historic team,
yeah.
giant name in F1, hopefully
That's
working their
been
way back up to the
dog
top here.
shit.
For a long, it's true. I mean, to the point where they had the original family had to sell the team, which is really sad.
Yeah,
But to see them working their way back up, it's fantastic. Also, their special livery looked amazing. I loved it. I loved a lot of the special liveries were great, but that one was
Racing Bulls was my favorite. Honestly, I don't know
it was
why.
awesome.
I just loved that orange and black camo look. Like, that was cool.
Oh, it
Their
looked great. I
photo
love it.
shoot was something else, but
Look, the drivers are playing into it. Good on them. Good on them.
yeah.
But it was nice to see. I'm really happy to see Williams getting better, working their way up here. Albon's kind of fading a little bit back,
Yeah.
but he kind of carried the team for the first half of the year, so he
Now
deserves a
Science
little
can
bit of a
step up a
break.
little. One thing,
I think it's good for Sainz.
I feel like something each week that we keep talking about a certain individual. Yuki. Yuki is putting on, like you had said, putting on a show to hopefully for himself. I love Yuki too. I'd like to see him stay in his seat and stay in Formula One next year. But he's fighting for his life right now. He's doing whatever he can. He's grabbing points.
He's my
it's not
favorite
just Max
5'2"
now.
Red Bull driver.
Yeah. He's not, it's not just Max now, which is nice to see, because like you said, like it was Max. It was just the Max show. No, he had no points whatsoever, and honestly, since the break, he's been grabbing points.
He's not doing anything like earth shattering, but he's getting the job done. I think if they went to 2026 and Yuki was constantly, top 5 sprinkled in here and there, but always points, I think they'd be pretty hard pressed to get rid of him. If you can guarantee that, that's good teamwork. That's what you need. You need a guy that's going to help out Max in Q1. Give him that pull down the straights, and a guy that's going to collect points to help the team out. That's what you want.
That situation with Ollie was silly though. And then Ollie's comment. what did you say?
That was extremely overly optimistic move. It was a cool thought. If it worked out, that would have been amazing. But the room was just never there. It was kind of a Lando Canada type of deal.
And FIA said there was no move under braking. Like it was all a simultaneous move. It's a double turn. It's a double corner. Like he was just getting his line set for the next one, and you just happen to go off, and then your stupid comment.
I wasn't a fan of that. I like Ollie overall as a kid. I think he's a really good kid. He's a very good driver, extremely talented. Didn't love the comment of like, oh, Yuki's so unsafe. He, that doesn't belong in F1. I think that was stupid.
Excuse me, sir. How many points away are you from a ban?
Exactly. Look, you can talk about safety when you stop crashing under red flags. And that was didn't love that comment. But we all in the heat, I suppose it happens. But I wasn't a fan.
And he's young. He still has a lot of years ahead of him to understand what is really dangerous and what's not. And maybe
Yeah,
he'll
he'll
look back
be
at this season and be like, "Oh
yeah.
wow, I was dangerous." Uh,
Well, he'll take him a little while. He'll get there though. I think once he gets up into a more performing vehicle, he'll might have a bit
yeah.
more appreciation for stuff like
Which
that.
honestly, he's been putting on such a good show this year. He's definitely going to have some opportunities in the future. He's a
Oh yeah,
good
kid's got some
driver.
of them. He's got some of the most exciting overtakes.
Yeah.
Love watching them.
Yeah.
Speaking of overtakes, we had one extremely controversial one, at least for one team. Franco Colapinto
Loved it.
grew a set. He
Loved it.
grew a set. I
He
thought it was
threw the
great.
bird up to Alpine and said, "Sorry, we're 17th and 18th. I'm gonna go."
I love it. I loved it. And I thought it was great. I thought it was good racing. Are you really going to stress over who's in 17th, who's in 18th?
Yeah.
I mean, who
When
cares?
I heard that radio comm come over, "Hey, let's hold position now," and he was like, "What? I'm faster. We're really gonna hold these positions? No, gone."
Yeah, it was a good move. I liked it. I liked
Mm,
it. It showed a kid's fighting for his life in F1.
yeah, his seat
Realistically,
is
who
one of the hot
knows?
seats right now. One of the
Yeah, I
many,
mean,
but one of the biggest hot seats right now.
yeah, I'd say it's the most obvious one, you
Yeah.
know. Uh, but he's trying to just put on his show. He's trying to have some fun, get out there, do what he does. The real
Take
question is,
17th,
does
man.
yeah, take 17th. Christ.
I feel like
The
y'all
real
got more
question
to
is, it's
worry
like,
about than who's gonna finish 17th or 18th.
yeah, yeah, like whether you can afford to keep your team afloat,
Yeah.
which is helped by sponsors, which Franco Colapinto brings a pretty big one. They just added their bright friggin' yellow to that pink and blue monstrosity. They what's the name
Pause.
of it here?
Worst livery in the whole
It is.
in the whole
I
10
feel like it could have been.
10
I feel
team
like it could have
grid.
been done so much better. It could have been just done better. It is what it is. Mercado Libre. My pronunciation's terrible, but you all know what I said. Um, uh, they're for all these North and South American races, they got that new yellow stripe on the back there, and that's for that company. That company just so happens to be based in South America, where our friend Franco lives.
Yep.
And he's a pretty big deal in Argentina, has a massive fan base down there. Um, it's no secret that the Renault Group and Alpine need all the sponsor money they can get to keep
Yeah.
these teams going, as it is getting increasingly more and more expensive every year. We have the new
Year
cost
to
cap
year.
coming, so every sponsor is needed. Um,
And honestly,
I
like
don't know
it,
what they're going to do.
that's that's another Checo situation.
It is, I think, and I think Alpine is a team that is much more desperate for sponsorship
Yeah.
money.
Red
But
Bull
then you
wasn't
have
hurting when Checo left, I'll tell you that.
no, no. Red Bull has they have a little bit in the bank over there,
Just a
just a little bit.
smidge.
But who knows what we're gonna end up with over there? We have a team principal who's notorious for being controversial and making strange decisions
Very
based on
strange.
money, or just because he feels like it. So I do wonder if just to spite him, they're going to get rid of Franco because of that specific move and bring in this Paul Aaron, or do they keep Franco for the sponsor money because that's guaranteed cash to keep yourselves going?
Yeah, and
What do you do?
it's not like Gasly's been doing anything crazy this year. He's been ass.
No,
I mean,
yeah,
the cars
he's
suck.
like it's the worst car on the whole grid, and it's been the worst car on the grid since they stopped development on all the engines. They're the only car that has they're the car that has the least horsepower. They struggle on every straightaway. They're just the only place they can have any kind of pace is Monaco because there's no place to actually go fast.
I literally feel like that clip of that overtake, that 20-second clip, was like the only time they've been put on camera that wasn't a wreck this
Yeah,
year.
they're always in last place, and I was happy for Franco. I thought it was great. I love to see it. I love to see guys have a little bit of an edge to him. We all know Franco has that edge to him, so it was nice.
Mr. Cougar Hunter. Um,
Cool.
but yeah, no, that was I even like immediately texted you. I loved that. He
I thought it was
literally,
great.
not even 10 seconds after they said don't pass, he's like, okay.
Yeah, that's a guy looking out for himself, and at the end
Yeah.
of the day, that's what it's like having a job, right? What are they gonna do if you're gone? If they get rid of you tomorrow, they're gonna have a guy lined up right behind you.
Yeah.
Do it for
They're
yourself.
it's the same thing like we talk about with the McLarens. We're not here to make friends. We're here to win races. And it's like
Absolutely.
that at the end of the day, that's all that matters, even though they're in 17th and 18th.
Yeah, and last
Um,
place in constructors by a
yeah,
lot.
by a lot.
A lot.
I feel like they've got like 10 points on the season,
Uh, Something like that.
maybe 20.
Honestly, I don't usually scroll down that far. I don't know.
once I see fifth, I'm done.
Pretty much.
But yeah, no, that was fun to see.
It was fun to see. Speaking of, I'm not as good at transitions as you are, but speaking of fun to see, we have the Mexican Grand Prix coming up.
Yep.
This is always I'm not a huge street race fan in general, but this is one of the ones I like a lot. Just I think the atmosphere of it's amazing. The Mexican fan base is awesome.
Yeah.
I love the section of track that goes through the baseball stadium. I think that's crazy. I love the idea of sitting in a baseball stadium and watching an F1 car just hum through the thing.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. One
And
day we'll get down to this race because I want to witness that.
the thing is too is like we have two of my personal favorite street races back to back.
Yeah.
With Mexico and then Vegas. Vegas is just cool for the spectacle of it. It's a cool track. It's the night vibes. You're in Vegas. You've got all the big buildings. It's so cool. But honestly, like you said, like just the feel of how Mexico is, the setup with it. It's just a really cool track. I mean, it's Monaco is only famous because it's Monaco and Miami sucks. Um,
Yeah.
let's be real.
Accurate.
So these two back to back, they're awesome. And I mean, Singapore is cool too, but it's more so I feel like the
spectacle thing too.
the
Though.
spectacle, like it's hot as
there's
shit.
no real race.
Like yeah,
Baku's probably the next one I enjoy the most.
yeah.
Just because I think but it's also a spectacle thing. I just think it's so cool to race past a castle.
Yeah, exactly. You're going right through on that bend. It is cool.
But this is a bit unique, right?
Yeah.
We have a high altitude here in Mexico City. It's going to be kind of new stresses on these engines. We're getting toward the end of the year here where we're running out of our allotted amount of engines for these teams.
Yeah.
And that means all of them have a bit of stress on them. So we might run into some mechanical failures coming up here, which that could be an issue.
Yeah, because the air is rare
for our leaders.
The air is rare there, and it's going to be a lot different. I mean, that's going to put pressure on the cars and the drivers too. You're going to see. I mean, you're throttling a car going 200 miles an hour at 50 Gs, and you're trying to breathe with a heart rate of 170 beats per minute throughout this 2-hour race. So it's going to be some stress on them. It always is. And then one thing that I even talked about this weekend that really like brings up a question of just the tires, the deg that you saw, like how Oscar was able to, or Charles was able to hold those softs. You even said it. Like, what is Pirelli doing? Do they know what they're doing right now? Like,
well, this is the thing. Yeah, I feel like Pirelli and their tire choices or what tire compounds they've created. The idea is to have different compounds, to have different strategies, to do different things. I would say probably 80% of our races are one-stop races. There's not really an alternate strategy.
No.
It kind of sucks.
And it's either, okay, you do this one and then you finish with this one, or you flip it. Like that's
and that's kind of the thing. Like
that's it. Or if you get a last minute yellow, then you can go back in for that second stop to get fresh tires, which we haven't really had a last second yellow with like 10 laps or less to go.
No, and even like think I forget what race. Oh crap, what race was it? Earlier this season, there was a race. Max had pulled like a 3-stop. Right?
Oh yeah,
that's the thing I want to see happening. I want to see what the hell is he doing? Why are we taking 3 stops? Oh, because he just wants all these fresh tires because he's trying to make up for a car that's crap.
Yeah,
stuff like that is kind of what we're missing. We're missing those different strategies. We can't even use full wet tires. Like this is what are we doing? But either way,
it's just all
we'll do a deeper dive on that sometime.
It's all inners.
It's too dangerous to race in the full wets because your cars throw up so much spray, and then the tires throw up too much spray.
And then they red flag it because of visibility, and then it's just a boring race.
It's a nightmare.
Wet races used to be awesome.
Yeah, they're very
More
boring now.
dangerous, but they used to be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. It is, it's a
Yeah.
frustrating thing that weighs on my mind when I watch some of these races.
But yeah,
But we
I mean,
do
coming to this week too, like it's going to be very interesting. You're going to have hot temps. You're going to have elevation change, which is also going to be something that's going to have an issue with the tires as well. And you're on a street course. You're
oh,
not
man,
on a nice paved track.
I'm gonna get a poster for this race that says "Hot temps, hot heads, hot sauce." But speaking of heat, putting the heat on some drivers that are out there right now. We have some rookies coming out in FP1.
Oh yeah,
We have some good rookies coming out here. Guys that these are some names that most of us will recognize. I think Paul Aaron, who we mentioned earlier, he's going to be out there in the Alpine driving Franco's car. Franco is competing with this man for his seat. So this could be an interesting thing. See what they gather from FP1. Maybe they see enough and they say, you know what, Franco, you're not worth your however many millions of dollars the sponsorship's bringing. We'd rather win races. And they bring this Aaron kid on. Aaron's up.
Races.
Yeah, well, win, I say win very loosely. I guess it's just
you
don't
mean
crash,
get 10th or better? Okay,
yeah, get points. But Paul Aaron is a really good driver down in F2. He's a little wild, but fun to watch.
Yeah.
Curious to see how that kind of plays out. We also have Pat O'Ward. Pat O'Ward was a name getting thrown around the early conversations of Caddy.
Yeah.
Pretty big, guy. He's a big IndyCar star. Races for McLaren over there. Guy's also he's a resident Mexican. He will be doing this in his home race, so that'll be fantastic. I'm sure the crowd will go absolutely nuts for him.
Hopefully he doesn't pull a Kimmy.
Yeah. I want to see him do well because I think we were talking about it earlier, but Caddy picking up drivers as things kind of go on here as they're developing their cars can be really important. This is a guy that we're looking at pretty intensely. Really excited to see what he does. And then I got somebody here that you know a heck of a lot more about than I do, Mr. Vesti.
Mr. Vesti comes from IMSA, and he is coming off of 2 back-to-back victories in the Whelen Cadillac 31 car. So it is really cool to see almost a reverse crossover because we're so used to seeing ex-Formula 1 drivers going to IMSA and WEC. Now we're seeing endurance drivers coming over to Formula 1. So we don't get to see that very much, and I'm actually really excited. Even if it's just free practice, it's cool to see somebody that, again, obviously, huge Cadillac fans here. It's cool seeing that happen and seeing him come over. So I'm really excited to see what best he can do. I don't know if that's going to open up any doors for him to come and race F1, but
it could. Who knows? He's already on the Caddy at IMSA team. Who knows? Like I said, they're going to be looking. There's some names on here they could pull from.
Yeah. I mean, you got another one. Which one? We got Fuoco.
Yeah, Antonio
Fuoco won 3 races this year, I believe, if not 4, with Ferrari hypercar in WEC. So another series that I love, which I don't like watching Ferrari win in endurance, but it's cool to see that crossover. Now he is 29 years old, so a little bit older.
Well, they might need him when Charles leaves.
Yeah. He's a dog though. That guy can drive. He drives the brakes off of that hypercar, that 499. So like it's really cool to see again endurance drivers coming over to say hi.
No, I love seeing young talent come in, new guys, guys that bring different kinds of experience. I think this is awesome. Then we also have somebody else who's been their name's been thrown around a lot all year. Arvid Lindblad.
Yep.
Who
Lindblad.
We're supposedly going to get some kind of an answer after this Grand Prix. What's going on with Red Bull, Racing Bulls, V-Carb, whatever you want to call them. What's actually happening over there? Whether Arvid is going to jump in down at Racing Bulls and Yuki's let go, or Liam's let go, or Hadjar jumps up into Red Bull. What's actually going to happen? We don't know. We haven't gotten an announcement. Helmut Marko told us in his greatest impression of Helmut Marko that we would get an announcement. We would get some kind of news after Mexico. This was the evaluation period. Arvid, if he comes out and shows, he's shown pace in F2. He fell off a little bit towards the end here in F2, but there's no doubt the kid has raw talent. Whether or not he's ready for F1 is up. It's up for debate. But excited to see what he does in FP1 here. He'll be taking Max's car, so he's going to get the best version of the Red Bull.
Best car.
Which that's another thing that's been really nice about having Laurent Mekies, however you say it.
Yeah, I think Mekies, but whatever.
I don't know. I'm not good with that stuff. But either way, he has been much more fair between the two drivers. I believe it was, what race was it? Singapore? I think it was in Singapore. No, it was Baku. They had an extra floor and they were keeping it as a reserve for Max. And he said, for Max doesn't crash things. Let's put it on Yuki's car. He didn't say that. He just said, let's put it on Yuki's car so that Yuki has the same vehicle, which has been nice. Nice to see even machinery. It's been helping him a lot.
Dude, I said
Long story short, I like watching how he manages this place.
Yeah, I was going to say, I said it like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
talking about Max and how he's been able to have a lot more fun this year. The pressure's off. And when did it happen? It happened when Horner's ass got benched.
Yeah.
And then he got let go.
Yeah, and I'm sure Horner started a lot of these great programs that are bringing these developments, but the implementation of them, once they've actually reached the garage, has changed. The culture of the place has changed. I think the management, I think everybody's a little bit happier, a little bit less on edge. We're not so worried about throwing a driver in, and as
a little
he
less
used to
assaulted.
Yeah.
I think everybody's a little bit happier now, like you said.
Like you said, we're not taking young drivers and, as he used to say, give them a go. We're not just throwing them in head first with no direction, no help, no nothing. We're actually growing our drivers. Part of why I kind of hope Yuki stays and Mr. Hadjar can train for a little bit longer in the lower team. But hey, Hadjar's also had a great season. But Harvard Lindblad in the RB is going to be really interesting.
Yeah.
We then have Luke Browning in Williams. He's an F2 driver. He's currently P3 in the championship over there. He's a very young talent, very exciting to watch. 19? He's just a kid. It's crazy. That is insane. I look at some of the ages of some of these guys and I'm like, God,
what was I doing? Oh,
what have I done? What have I done in my life? What am I doing? What did I do wrong?
Kimmy not even being able to drive his car. Hey, come on.
Why didn't my parents put me in a go-kart at 5 years old? God.
And then spend millions and millions of dollars on my career.
And then finally, we have Jack Crawford. He is an Aston Martin driver. He'll be taking over Lance Stroll's machine.
Just for FP1, right?
Yeah, just for FP1. I know. Look, I was starting to get on the train where I was like, you know what, maybe this kid's not, I don't dislike him that much. He's all right. He's an all right dude. He's just a guy out here racing cars. And then he goes and he freaking dive bombs turn one in the stupidest, so much to the point where even he, after he wrecks into him, sticks his little hand up like,
sorry. He's sorry.
Sorry. So sorry. Daddy, buy me a new one. Jack Crawford will be coming in, showing what he can do in an F1 car. You got Fernando Alonso, who's been actually talking about retirement outwardly, what he's going to do, how he's going to do it. I don't know how much I believe it, but
he's just a rookie.
He's just a rookie. I was going to say it's his first year, and he's already talking about retirement. But Fernando's he's at the end here. Maybe Lance Stroll is too.
Oh, we can only hope.
Yeah, I know. It kills me because they had a couple of videos out where he went out and he drove a WRC car, ripping around rally cars in the snow. He was friggin' tremendous. Maybe it's just high downforce cars. Maybe he needs to try something different. The kid's obviously, he was good enough to get through. He won F3. He skipped F2 because he said, Daddy, I want to go up to F1 now.
Daddy, I want a real car.
The kid, he's got talent.
You know what I think he'd be good in?
It's just not there.
He's really good at putting them sideways. I think he'd be good in Formula drifts.
A little banging doors. That's what he needs. He just needs cars that have fenders.
Yeah. Go put him in NASCAR.
Maybe we'll bring him down. Maybe he'll come race down at Seekonk. He might do better there after how it looked this weekend.
Oh, man. Predictions.
Well, it'll be interesting. Predictions from Mexico. So I got mine here. I got Max winning. I then have Oscar making a resurgence, saying, fuck this, I'm coming back, and I'm coming second place. And then Lando, I don't think he does so well in Mexico. I think he kind of craps out. I think we get Charles Leclerc third. So I got Max, Oscar, and Charles. I think Charles gets his third podium in a row.
I think that as well. I'm only gonna switch up P2 with Russell.
Ooh, 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row, you're saying Russell's gonna do great. This is what has happened?
I don't know. I mean, Mr. Consistent. This was the
No,
first.
he's great.
So
Yeah.
maybe me saying that he's going to get P2 will keep him out of it, which is good. We'll keep saying that.
No, I can see that. Russell's just he's been the man this year. He's been up
I
there.
hate
He's made a
that.
case.
Don't say that.
He has. I know. I do too. Look, maybe it was the way he came up through Williams. I really didn't like. I don't know what it is that just soured me about him. But I wasn't his biggest fan. I'm starting to appreciate. Starting to appreciate what he does and how.
I'm starting to respect. I'm not appreciating anything. I'm
I'm
respecting what
appreciating
he
some of this stuff.
does.
I'm appreciating some of it genuinely. That move he threw was nothing but respect for that. That was sweet. That was sweet.
Exactly. Respect.
But I think we got. I think we're pretty. I think we're pretty spot on with those. I think it's going to be a good weekend. It's going to be a great weekend. Have some great racing.
I always love it when we don't have to wait 2 weeks. It's nice having the back to backs. So
I know. And now we're in the rapid fire.
yeah,
Watch Max just face
we
pound
only
the
have to
whole
wait
thing.
6 days for 5 days for any action, which is great. Because
Well,
then
look at it this way:
obviously at the end of
when Lando loses, and Max gets to go see his 2 race car driving parents, Lando can go back to his billionaire dad and cry that he doesn't have a race car driving.
is his dad really that rich?
Yeah, he's a billionaire.
I didn't know I knew he was like, I thought he was
Yeah.
like a couple hundred mil. I didn't know he was a Billy.
Oh yeah, he's a billionaire. This is why that comment of him saying, "Oh, I wasn't born into F1 like some people."
I had to
So
pay my way
stupid.
in.
Yeah. And it's crazy because the whole quote is like 3 paragraphs, and the first 2 paragraphs are great. Praising Max. Yeah, Max, I don't think one of us is better than the other. I never dreamed to be better than Max. I think I have my days. I think he has his. Full
Well, he's
respect.
better than you.
Great comment. He is, but full respect. That's what you need to. That's how you need to feel. It was the comment about the parents that just pissed me off. I'm
Yeah.
like, really, really?
Come on. Come
Just
on.
get in your car and drive. Go beat him then.
Literally. So that'll be fun. We're gonna start putting our little bells on for all the updates because we missed another race this weekend. We missed the 8-hour GT World at Indianapolis. Probably gonna rewatch that throughout the week just to get an idea. It's just some more race action that we can take a peek at. So that'll be fun to see. And then obviously we got Mexico. 2 weeks from now we've got one of the last Lock City events, which I'm excited
Yeah,
for to see in
yeah. I know it's
person.
gonna be fun.
It's been over a month now since at least I've been to a track,
Yeah,
which I'm itching a little bit. So
yeah. Last time I went was with you. Actually, last
yeah,
time I went was with you.
so that'll be fun to see it. But other than that, I think we're good for the week.
I think so. I think looking forward to Mexico. Looking forward to watching the Indy 8-hour that I totally didn't forget was on last weekend.
Totally didn't forget that. Yeah. So got some content. It's Tuesday. We had a little issue recording yesterday because Riverside was down. AWS decided to get breached and had some issues, but we're recording today. But should be getting some content put out there tonight. So if you're seeing this tomorrow or Thursday, depending on when we can get this out, go and check it out. Some fun clips from some of the drift events and staggered that we saw. So we'll get that out tonight. And as always, make sure you go check us out on Facebook. We're on Instagram. TikTok is booming right now. Please go out, take a peek at the videos. We love the comments. We love the interactions. YouTube, Spotify, that's where you're going to be able to check us out when we drop our videos. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, comment, please. We love the interactions. And as always, make sure you keep the throttle down and the conversation wide open. We'll see you next time.